Hi guys, how you doing? Hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's staying healthy. I hope everyone's having a good time at home. This is my YouTube live session. Now we've got a little bit of a. I've got a bit of a question for you actually to start off with. First of all, I'd like whoever logs on. So hi, I've just seen someone's joined. Could you just say hi for me? Because I was told that I was going to have my music production group now. I think this should be my music production slot. But I've seen on a different calendar that this should be a slot for, this would be Godalming and Waverley. So if the people who are just joining me now, could you just pop your name in the comments? Just say hi. It's, Theo here, or George, or Sam here, or whoever it is, just so I can work out. Waverley Abbey. Okay, right. So I was told a different time. Okay, right. In that case, hi Waverley guys. So this presumably is my group. So we've got Waverley. We've got right. Okay, awesome. Right. So that's not what I was told. That's absolutely fine. Not a problem at all. So we've got Waverley Abbey. Awesome. So we've got people like so guys, if you just want to put your name in the comments, just say hi. I will say hi Billy, hi Dahlia, how you doing? I hope you've had an okay time at home, not getting too bored, found plenty of things to do. I know you probably have lots of school work to be getting on with. People who I've spoken to have said they've got lots of work to do, so I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure it's the same for you as well. Whilst you're here, we've got Billy and Dahlia. So Billy from Godalming and Dahlia from Waverley. So let's have a look and see what you guys have been up to. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions about the work I set you this week, not really. Okay, well, that means I must have explained it really well. I'll take that. I'll go through it anyway, just to make sure that you are really crystal clear on what I've asked you to do. Billy, we will start with you as you were the first to pop your name up there. Actually, no, to be fair, Dahlia, you did say Waverley Abbey, but okay, we'll start with Billy anyway. So I gave you Ode to Joy Part 3 and Letters to Notes. So Ode to Joy Part 3. In fact, actually, Dahlia, you are going through. You're slightly further ahead, but not much. So Part 3. How have you got on with Part 3? Hopefully, I explained it okay to you. So you've got this bit. Okay. So how did you get on with that? I hope you found that okay. Make sure that you do, for this week, get that part and the other two parts good. I'm glad you found it okay. So the part 2, so the first 2 lines, and part 3, make sure you get those good, because next week I've got you down to be doing a melody play along. So we're going to play the whole melody along to the backing track that I have for that song. So it's nice and important that you do get that melody really comfortable in your right hand this week, because we're going to be playing along to it, the backing track, next week. How did you get on with the letter? So looking at musical notation, because in the past we've been learning stuff in using letters, but in the future, probably not for initially, but in the future when we learn up new songs, we're going to start looking at the notes in musical notation rather than just letters. Yes, so Dahlia, yes, we're just getting on to you. So you are moving on to, so you did the melody play along this week. How did you get on with the melody play along? Did you manage to play it the whole way through, or did you have to split it up? Because this is something that you'll be doing next week, Billy. So what I don't know if I explained this well. I tried to explain it well in the video and also in the little comment thing I did underneath. But what I would like you to do is basically, if you can't play the melody the whole way through at the speed you did, awesome, well done, Dahlia, that's really good. But for those of you out there who have not put your name in there yet but just want to hear this, then what my idea was that when you play the melody play along, if you can't play it the whole way through with at that speed, then I want you to split it up into sections. So for Ode to Joy example, you could do the first 4 bars. So you could just do just do that bit, and then miss out the next line, which will be. And then do the next line. So just like alternate. So do one line, miss one line, do the next line, miss the next line, whatever, however you want to do it. Or you can do it in 2-bar sections. If you find part 3 the harder section, then even just miss out the first 2 lines and just play part 3, the 3rd line. And then you can really focus on getting that bit good and getting it right. It's really important getting the rhythms right in that song, because I know when you just play it by yourself with nothing around you, you play it at your sort of own speed, so you can stop and start whenever you want. But when you're playing along to music, you have to stay in time with it. So do your best to get the rhythms right. And like I say, if you do struggle to get it right at that speed, then just split it up into sections, so you only have to concentrate for like 2 bars or 4 bars or whatever it may be. Okay, Dahlia, I also gave you letters to notes. How did you get on with the notation? So this applies to you as well, Billy, if you're still here. We looked at the notes from C to middle C, all the way up to C above it. How will we send the notes to letter? Oh, right. Okay. So what I would like you to do is actually, I don't really necessarily need to see it myself. It was more just something that I wanted you to have a go at, because next week, or is it for next week for you? No, in a couple weeks time, Dahlia, I will go through it with you, well, in a video. So I'd like you to have a go at it, but once you've had a go at it and you look through this video that I'm going to send you in a couple of weeks, then you can compare what you did with what I do, and you can see how you got on. Because there's another video that I'm going to send you in a couple of days, well, actually on Monday, which talks about time values, or the note lengths and how you write different note lengths. So obviously in Ode to Joy, you have different note lengths. You have what we call crotchets. Again, this will all be explained in a video coming up. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, it's all coming up. But you've got notes that basically play for 1 beat. So so all of them 1 beat per note. Okay, but then you get to here, where you get to the end of a bar, and you've got 2 beats. You have to hold a beat for 2 beats. That's when you need a different type of note. So I'll teach you about that in that lesson. And then we can look at that. For Ode to Joy, I've just had a thought, you need another type of thing, which I've not put in that video. So I might have to work out what we'll do for that one. But yeah, so I think hopefully you should be able to, once I've sent you next week's one, then the week after that, I'll be sending you how to write it out in notation, and then you can compare what you did to that. Okay, so I've talked about Billy's group, and I've talked about Dahlia's group. What about the other Waverley group? The other Waverley group are doing exactly the same thing, so that's all right. So I've talked about everyone's group so far. So yeah, if anyone has any questions at all about the work I've set so far, even from previous weeks, if there's something that you've struggled with, I mean, Dahlia, I gave you, let's have a look at what I've given you. So I've given you the chords. How you get on with the chords? So you've got C and G. You did those in 5-finger rock, so you probably are going to be okay with that. Have I given you the chord play along? I think I've given you the chord play along, haven't I? How did you get on with the chord play along for that? And then same for you, Billy. I gave you that kind of thing as well. How did you get on with that? Did you find it all right? Yeah, if you got any more questions, guys, please bring them in. Or if you want to ask me a general question, like what have I been doing in lockdown or isolation, then I'm happy to answer questions. Cool. So what we might do actually is next week, Dahlia, I'm looking at yours, you are going to start using, I think, so I've got my spreadsheet right. You're going to start looking at playing. We didn't receive that. So did I not give you a chord play along video for Ode to Joy, Dahlia? So where you play along the chords along to the backing track. Just let me know if I didn't, because I thought I had, but if I haven't, I need to send you that. So that can be in next week's lesson. Oh, okay, right. I will send you that in next week's lesson, Dahlia. Because I had it in here that I have done that with you, but obviously I haven't. So we will do that. We did that at school only, right? Okay. I'll send you the video in next week's lesson. In fact, I'm going to write that down right now so that I don't forget, because I will forget because my memory is terrible. Ode to Joy, chord, play along. And then Billy, if you're still here, could you tell me if I've given you that as well? Because I fear if I've not given it to Dahlia, then I've not given it to Billy either. So I'll just put that in. That's all right, Dahlia, no problem. To Joy, chord, play along. Cool. So I will send you that next week, Dahlia, and I'll probably do that for all the other groups as well. I'll do that later today. So yeah, if you have any more questions, I mean, so we did letters to notes, Joy called letters on the keyboard. We're also, I mean, I think Dahlia, you've been doing quite well recently. You did very well in the 5-finger rock performance that you did with me at the end of term. Well, not the end of term, but just before we went away. So hopefully you've been getting on okay with the Ode to Joy. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you've been doing very well with that, as have you, Billy, I hope. I'm sure you've been doing great with that. If anyone else, I can see there's a few people watching this. If anyone else is watching, then please do write a little comment saying you're here. I do like to hear from you guys. So so yeah, if you see, just tell me how you've been getting on with your keyboard. If you have any questions about the keyboard, then by all means, please do ask me. If no one else has any more questions and everyone is happy with what I've set them so far this week, then I will sign off. So yeah, I'll give you like a minute whilst I say goodbye if anyone has any more questions. So yeah, I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. I hope everyone enjoys the weather. I think the weather's meant to be amazing. The weather was amazing today. So I hope everyone gets a chance to go outside, get some sun, get a tan on, play some games, do something outside if you can. That's be very important for your general well-being. So yeah, I will, if that's everyone, no more questions, then I will see you all later. I'll see you on Monday for your next week's lessons, and then I will also see you next Thursday at the same time for your play along, or sorry, live session. All right, see you later, guys. Bye.